CSR and human resource I talked about. Human resource management is one of the main operations of any business, company, industry that depend on. In the same way, marketing vis-a-vis branding is another feature which give a stand to any company, its identity, and it's basically what it looks like, the imagination, the very concept of the company people draws out of their mind. The branding and CSR is an integral part of the marketing, and it is a subject itself emerging in a very strong way. While we have practiced CSR, realized that how crucial the correlation between brand and CSR and interrelation between brand and CSR. The famous Walter Landor once said, "Products are made in the factory, but brands are created in the mind." A brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them, which is intended to identify the goods or services of one seller to differentiate them from those of the competitors. A brand is a specifically defensible piece of legal intellectual property manifested in logos, identities, and advertising, to which an incremental system of revenue is attached. It therefore represents a secure flow of future earnings. Important point about the brand is it can dominate for many years. Strong brands can lose their power if not attended to with purpose. Brand loyalty is more fragile today than in the less complicated past. Brand loyalty will be more difficult to maintain in the future than it is today. CSR and brand building. Any strategy to integrate CSR and brand has to be focused upon the desired goals. It also needs to have a multi-stakeholder approach. CSR related issues have been classified into two dimensions: relevance and impact. Relevance is concerned with ascertaining the branding strategy's applicability to core business and the brand, and to the core stakeholders. A branding strategy obviously needs to address the highlight the core strengths of the product. But if the CSR integration is not to be achieved, it also needs to take into account the stakeholders and not just the customers. Impact of CSR brand integration strategy is to be measured on three dimensions: impact on beneficiaries of the activities, impact with key target audiences whose opinion regarding the company is crucial in shaping the larger impact of brand perception and brand reputation, impact on the company itself. One most critical aspect is some guideline for integrating CSR into brand, what we shouldn't follow, what we should do, should not address. What we should address, what we do address, that's a different part. But what we don't, that to be keep in mind always. In my mind, number one is don't change cause frequently to support too many non-related causes so far as CSR is concerned. Choose a cause that does not resonate with your target audience. Don't choose a cause that does not resonate with your target audience. Don't create a CSR initiative as a public relations exercise. I am repeating, don't create a CSR initiative as a public relations exercise. It is going to be a boomerang if we don't do what I said, don't change cause, don't choose a cause, don't create a CSR initiative. These three don'ts are very important to address, but you shouldn't follow. The next, what we talk about, complexities involved in leveraging CSR in branding. Complexities related to corporate brand. If we say, once a business decides to adopt a corporate responsibility ethics, CSR should become a part of the organization's DNA. It should be one of the core functions of the organizations, rather just being an add-on aspect. Corporate branding should also convey this aspect. All marketing efforts of the organization should communicate this commitment, either explicitly or implicitly. There are a range of organizations globally that from their inception have integrated aspects of CSR into all activities, such as the Body Shop, Ben & Jerry ice cream, and Blackamoors. In all cases, these firms' founders integrated social responsibility into the culture of the organization from the very start. In India too, there are examples such as Tata Groups, ITC, etc. have undertaken notable CSR initiatives and have also adopted effective communication strategies that have translated into gains for overall brand. These are the companies, they very sincerely put their positive aspects in a very long-term rows. Next is that complexities related to supply chain issues. In today's world, organizations interact with a large number of suppliers. Typically, brands are impacted by the activities of not just the parent organization, but also the associated organizations. For example, prominent apparel companies such as Nike, Benetton, Adidas, and Reebok, etc. have faced a barrage of criticism over the labor standards employed by their suppliers. Recently, Apple was in the spotlight following a spat of suicide at its major supplier, Foxconn's plant in China, following which Apple had to step in. Thus, the models of integration and integrating CSR and branding is very important. Corporations today know that CSR is inextricably linked to their reputation and their brand identities. Yet, integrating CSR and brand development can be daunting without a roadmap. Our analysis identifies following organizational models that integrating brand and CSR, half of which are readily replicable examples that companies can apply to their own situation. One can be, you can say that product-driven consumer companies such as PepsiCo is an example of a company whose brand CSR integration is product-focused, such as its partnership between Quaker Oats and Walt Hart Foundation. Despite corporate-level support and measurement, brand CSR integration of this type will always depend upon the characteristics of specific products. Super-regulated industries. We spoke with several pharmaceutical companies, all of whom were reluctant to talk us about their culture and their support to brand CSR integration. If we can say the organic partnership, this is the most mature brand CSR integration made and is based on systematically interrelated parts within companies rather than an existing structure. At HSBC, CSR is a separate department. HSBC first US environmental campaign started. HSBC started first environmental campaign. It looks like that as if HSBC's own work, but they have given this work to other company, and the campaign Commit to Change was one of the super hit. At Chevron, the oil giant, the CSR report is the responsibility of the Global Issues and Policy Group with the company's new brand, Human Energy, reinforces company-wide CSR integration across geographies. Across geography, their slogan, Human Energy, that ignited at Cherokee, the private equity firm. Their senior director of marketing describes brand CSR integration as central to their brand. He says, to this day, we don't have a corporate brochure. We use our sustainability report for both investors and recruiting employees. See how these companies are being depended upon, or CSR is dominating them, or they are creating a platform for coexistence. As what I mentioned earlier, it is corollary of business. It is ingrained. It is almost branded as a nerve system of company. So, brand and CSR is hand and gloves, is a coexistent nerve system of the organization. Thank you.